Well, if we're gonna find any ghosts, we better split up.
You're listening to Never Split Up, a horror movie podcast.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 44 of the Never Split Up podcast. My name's Nolan along with my co-host Anthony, and today we are doing a special little bonus Halloween episode. We couldn't quite fit it into our Halloween season. We had a lot going on that season, as you know, but we wanted to do this episode because we promised my good friend Tyler, who is a huge Halloween franchise fan, he's a huge Michael Myers fan, that we would get him on the podcast. So we have him on today. How you doing, Tyler? What's going on? How you doing, Anthony?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. Excited.
Yeah, I'm always excited to talk about Halloween, so this will be fun.
Yeah, we did a lot of Halloween content for a couple weeks at the end of the Halloween season, so we wanted to break it up a little bit. So we did the It Follows episode. We did our little anniversary episode. But now we're back to covering the best franchise in the horror
Second best
genre.
franchise.
Best, yeah. Yeah, but no, this is great. And thank you to everyone for checking out our year in review episode last week. That was a lot of fun. Just a quick kind of recap for all of our fans that have helped us grow. So that was awesome. But here we go. Now we're in year 2 of the podcast. Again, we have my buddy Tyler. So he actually, I really wanted to have him on because not only is he a big Halloween fan, but he actually helped produce a fan film, right, Tyler? Do you want to talk about that real quick and shout that out? Maybe give the YouTube a shout out. It's on YouTube, right?
It is. It is Halloween Inferno Part 3. I'm credited as an executive producer on that. There's actually 3 parts to it: part 1, part 2, part 3. And if you want to watch all 3 of them, they kind of blend them together into one, longer version. And it's really good. Check it out. Those guys did a great job. I think they actually did a part 4 as well. Wasn't too much in the loop on that, but it's on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Halloween Inferno fan films, and they did a great job. It's kind of like a Halloween Kills fan film because it came out just before Halloween Kills came out. So it was like a continuation after Halloween 2018. It even has a flashback scene and everything, just like how Halloween Kills had. So yeah, it's great. They did a great job on it.
Yeah, they definitely did. I did check out the first 3. I didn't know there was a 4th one, so I'll have to check that one out. But those are really fun films if you guys are into fan films at all. I've never been a huge fan film guy until recently, until I realized like some of them are really cool and really well done, and this is one of them that's pretty well done. And it's just fun. They're not terribly long. They're good together, like Tyler said, and they're a good watch. So if you guys are fans of that, definitely check that out.
Cinematography is solid. The cinematography is really solid on it.
Yeah, it is.
So it's hard to get that sometimes with fan films. So yeah. But they definitely have it on that.
And there's some suspense, some good suspense in it.
Yeah,
I was going to say, there's a couple.
Unlike the actual kills, you got a little more suspense in it.
all right. Here we go.
Yeah,
well, speaking
I'm
of
just kidding.
We'll get into it.
Speaking of our Halloween Kills and our rankings, we figured we do a quick recap of our rankings, and then we'll ask Tyler his rankings. So, Ant, do you want to go first, or do you want to have Tyler
for sure.
go first?
Let's have him go last, because he'll be in the spotlight, because we already did our rankings.
Okay, yeah, let's just quickly go over like least favorite to favorite, and then we'll just we'll introduce Tyler's rankings, and then we'll just go from there.
All right, cool. I have mine up, so I'll just go quick. My number 13 is Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. My number 12 is Halloween Resurrection. Number 11 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I'm actually wearing a Season of the Witch shirt right now. Number 10 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 9 is Halloween Kills. Number 8 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Number 7 is Halloween 5. Number 6 is Halloween 4. Number 5 is Halloween 2018. Number 4 is My Baby Halloween Ends. Number 3 is Halloween H2O. Number 2 is the original Halloween 2. And number 1 is obviously the OG Halloween.
Okay. And I believe you won our poll as well for that, which is weird because
we did
I have the perfect list. So that's a little weird.
It's just interesting because they're all so unique, our lists. Like, there's no list that's not unique, I feel like. I feel like Phil's was the most, like, favorable. Like, what the highest rated, like, on, like, the critics are. I feel like Phil had maybe more of that. We had a little bit more, like, different kind of takes. But they're all unique, so.
No, they all
that was
are.
fun.
All three of...
That was fun, that episode.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a blast watching that. Seeing all three of you go back and forth, that was fun.
Yeah, I feel like we kept it somewhat civil, but No,
you did.
I really wanted to stay on a couple topics, but we had to keep it moving. So
it was already like 3 hours long. So
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into my list. Mine is my least favorite to favorite. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, followed by Halloween 6, and then Halloween Resurrection. And then at number 10, Halloween Ends. Number 9 is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Number 8 is Rob Zombie Halloween, the first one. And then we have number 7, Halloween 4. Number 6, Halloween 5. And then my top 5 is Halloween H2O. At number 4 is Halloween 2018. And then the original Halloween 2. And then my favorite sequel is Halloween Kills. And then my favorite Halloween movie, obviously, is Halloween 1978. Okay, Tyler, let's reveal your list, your rankings, and then we can kind of just get into a discussion about the franchise as a whole and just have some fun and, take it from there.
All right, so number 13, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Number 12, Halloween Resurrection. Number 11, Rob Zombie's first movie. Number 10, Halloween 5. Number 9, here we go. Number 9, Halloween H2O. Number 8, Halloween 4. Number 7, Halloween 6. Number 6, Halloween Ends. Number 5, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Number 4, Halloween 2, 1981. Number 3, Halloween Kills. Number 2, Halloween 2018. And then the original 1978 at number 1.
Cool,
That
that's
is my
definitely
list.
unique.
Yeah, there's a couple that are, in a different order there.
No, you know what's
for
interesting?
sure.
I realized that me and you, the only difference in our top 5 is you have kills and I have ends. Everything else in our top 5 is the same.
You're talking about for me and you,
for me and
right?
You.
Yeah, I did notice that.
You just have kills and I have ends,
Yeah, I did notice that after our episode, the ranking episode, that those are like our biggest things. So
different order, but
Yeah, so me, you, Phil, and now Tyler, all very different rankings. And again, that's just a testament to, I think that's a testament to how strong a franchise is when everyone has different favorites. That just means that there's something to like about all these movies. I mean, of course, you're going to get the bottom feeders, but even, something like Rob Zombie 2, which is mine and Tyler's least favorite, you have pretty high up at number 8. So I guess my first question would be, looking at your ranking, Tyler, it's pretty unique, even for a Halloween franchise ranking. Do you want to kind of just go over like broad strokes why you rank these films the way you do? I mean, you have, like, for example, you have Halloween 6 above Halloween 4 and 5, which is pretty controversial. Do you want to just kind of go over why you have these rankings and what's your philosophy with them?
Well, do you want me to go over why Halloween 6 is above 4 and 5 for me to start?
Yeah, I mean, just yeah. I would like to I would hear that. I'd like to hear that.
All right. For me, Halloween 6 always had a little more of a more of a creep factor to it. I like Michael's mask more than I do in 4 and 5. I think the actors who portray this, you guys are going to hear this a lot with me when I explain what I like and dislike. The Mask and the actor who plays Michael is a huge thing for me, and it could not necessarily make or break, but when I feel like Michael's appearance isn't right, it kind of hurts it for me. And I 4 and 5, I think the masks are pretty awful. Uh, um, Halloween 6, I don't. I'm definitely on board with you guys on the. I don't like how much they explain with the curse and all that. That's not really what I like about it. It's more of I feel like it just has a creepier atmosphere overall than 4 and 5, and I also like the kills better in Halloween 6. I think Michael's a little more brutal in 6. Um, One particular scene that I really like in Halloween 6 is the scene with Deborah. I think it's a really good suspenseful scene in the Myers house where Deborah's alone in the house, and right after Loomis comes to visit her and tell her, "Hey, what are you doing? You're living in Michael Myers' house." You get some creepy shots of Michael, standing behind her, stalking her from one of the other rooms upstairs, and she comes downstairs, and where she had placed a container that had an axe in it. She comes down the staircase and the axe is gone. I think that's really creepy. It's just, I guess it's just the creep factor is a little more there for me, and I like Michael better in 6. The curse stuff, yeah, it's a mess. The story is a bit of a mess with it for sure, but it just does it a little better for me than 4 and 5, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my 6 is my second, worst. I should say my second least favorite in the franchise. But I will
Right.
say that they did try to do it with that more creepier vibe than, especially with 5. They went from 5 and they tried to kind of up the intensity a bit with the creep factor. I just don't think it's as memorable, and that's why I have it lower. I just don't. I do like 5 better because it's more of like a fun slasher. But I will agree with you there that in 6 they kind of do a tonal shift in the franchise. I just don't think they really executed it that great. But there are some cool moments and some cool shots in the movie.
I would like to point out just one thing because there's the two cuts, theatrical and producers.
Yeah.
Man, this movie really could have used a blend, like a cut that kind of blends both of them. Because the producer's cut, I think the producer's cut ending is ridiculous. It's horrible.
It's so bad.
But they, like, the producer's cut has more of that John Carpenter soundtrack in there, the traditional Halloween soundtrack, and then the theatrical cut has this like
Rock kind of
90s like grunge guitar going on, like when Michael's chasing them and stuff, and it's like, well, that's not Halloween. Like, get the regular Halloween music in there. Like, I feel like they needed to blend the two cuts to make a better overall version of it, but that's just because it was messy. But I think some of the messiness with Halloween 6, I think Halloween 5 is actually to blame for some of the messiness that happens with the storyline in 6, because Halloween 5 introduces the Man in Black. It introduces the thorn symbol on, Michael's wrist. And, the whole thing with the Man in Black blowing up the police station at the end. So the people that had to write Halloween 6 were probably like, where are we going with this? It took I think it took like 6 or 7 years between Halloween 5 and Halloween 6, because I don't know if the Halloween 6, the people writing it knew where the hell to go with the story. So I place a little blame for sure on Halloween 5. And I know you guys like Halloween 5 more than me. I give Halloween 5 some blame for the complete wackiness and off the rails that Halloween 6 does with the curse story.
Yeah, my least favorite part of 5 is seeing Michael in those cuffs in that jail cell.
Oh,
and then
God.
Man in Black.
Dude, he looks so it's like
he's
shucks,
sitting there
I got caught
in a corner. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, it's like
just leave that
I guess
out.
they caught me. Yeah.
I
Looks so
gotta
vulnerable
defend,
and weird.
I gotta defend 5 for a second because while you're technically right, you just said it. It's not like this was pre-written, so they had to come up. They could have came up with anything, and 5 really didn't give you anything. I mean, it gave you the Man in Black and it gave you the little symbol, but that could be interpreted so many different ways, and I I understand what you're saying, but I still place 95% of the blame on the writers for 6. I mean, because that could have been any number of things,
Yeah,
It was a shit show.
They could have done, for sure, they could have done a different one in a different direction with it. So I get where you're coming with that.
I think they just focused on that in 5, from 5, and they just leaned on it too heavily for 6. And I think we all agree they just kind of went too full bore with the the backstory and stuff. But it's I don't know, it's unique. Like I said, I've told Anthony, I've come around on the movie. It's my it's number 12 for me, but I still watch it and I still have a enjoyable enough time with it. I mean, it's not my go-to by any means, but it's especially now that we have these different timelines, it's kind of like a pick your own adventure. And sometimes I do like to sit down and watch the Thorn trilogy. And the reason I like 6 is because he is a little bit more menacing. He's more of like a monster, with these, almost superhuman powers, and the way it, like the force that drives him. So it's a cool angle. And I do agree with you, the mask. So it sounds like, because I'm looking at your list, I mean, you have H2O pretty far down there. You're a big Michael guy, and how they portray Michael is really going to determine
Correct.
if you like the movie or not. So, I mean, I think it goes without being said that the new David Gordon Green trilogy is your favorite timeline, because, I mean, they're all pretty much at the top of your list.
Yes, the 1978 and the Blumhouse trilogy is my favorite
Yes, Blumhouse trilogy. I
timeline.
forgot that's what it's called. Yeah. So
Is
Anthony,
that your
do you
favorite
wanna,
timeline too, Nolan? Is that your favorite timeline?
Well, yeah, I was just going to ask you the same thing. So
It's hard for me, but
it's close for me. It is close, but I am gonna give it to the Blumhouse trilogy. I just think, we can get into ends if you want again, but I don't completely hate ends, and I just think
Right.
2018 and Kills are so freaking good, as companion pieces to the original. It's so solid, and if H2O didn't have Resurrection, it would probably get the nod, but I hate Resurrection a little bit more than I hate Halloween Ends, but it's close. It is close.
that's ridiculous.
Actually, I feel very differently about those two movies. But it's really because Halloween Kills and 18 are so good. I mean, I have them slightly above H2O, and I have 2 kind of right in the middle. You see, they're all in my top 5. So it is a close call. What about you, Ant? What's your favorite timeline?
I agree, it's a close call. The Blumhouse trilogy, they're all like really solid movies, really good. Obviously, Kills is my least favorite of that trilogy, but my top 3 Halloween movies are Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween H2O. So my preferred timeline is the Laurie Strode trilogy right there. The Halloween, the direct sequel, and then H2O, and Resurrection's included. But because the other 3 are so strong, I'm still gonna stand up for that timeline. And Blumhouse is right, like right below it, because Michael's awesome in all 3 of those, and so is Jamie Lee Curtis. But there's just something about Halloween 2 and H2O that really are special to me.
No, I agree. They're special to me too, and that is my favorite. Laurie is H2O. I do prefer her a bit more in H2O than I do 2018. I like the 2018 angle. I'm not saying it's not good at all, but I grew up with H2O. I mean, we grew up around that time.
Yeah.
So,
but Michael-wise, the best timeline is the Blumhouse, the 78, and then the Blumhouse trilogy.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's without question. All 3 masks look incredible. It's so. I think I touched on this last time. It's so funny how much they really fuck up Michael in this franchise. It's
so
like,
weird.
I don't know
it doesn't make sense.
how it's so hard to just make a decent Michael Myers mask. It's so stupid.
Get a good mask, man. I don't understand.
Considering that a lot of these movies had millions of dollars. I mean, the budget. Come on, get it. Like the masks behind me, the masks behind
Right.
Nolan, those are better than masks in the actual franchise.
Right.
Like these masks were hand painted by somebody. I sent the mask over. There's artists out there that are phenomenal with these masks now, but yeah, I don't get it. I don't get the
I
mask
don't
thing.
get it either.
It was
They had
frustrating.
the blueprint. They had the original the whole time. Just go like they had the blueprint there the whole entire time.
I
Yeah.
know. Get a
Yeah, I don't
Shatner
get
mask,
that at all.
spray paint it white.
Yeah.
Get the hair brown. I don't know.
So, Tyler, your favorite mask is the OG, I assume.
Yes, it's
What's
up on the
okay?
top
So
there.
what's
Yes.
so what's your favorite like sequel, like second favorite mask?
Man,
Because this one's tough for me too.
God, it's almost
Oh, is
like a
it?
tie. It's
Kinda
almost like a
tough.
tie
Not really.
between. It's like a tie between 2018 and Kills, but man, I guess I'd give Kills the edge just because of the burnt look
Yeah.
is so
Mhm.
badass, but it's really close on what my second favorite mask is. And I
Mhm.
love the Halloween 2 mask, even though it's the same mask as that was used in the original. So that's up there too. It's almost like a three-way tie,
It's hard.
like four-way tie between the Blumhouse ones and Halloween 2,
Yeah.
1981. It's hard as hell to call. Maybe just
What
the
about you,
edge to
Ant?
Kills.
Mine is Halloween 2, 1981, and then 2018
Okay.
for the sequels.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's
But
hard not to go
Kills
with
is awesome, Ends is even awesome. Like, they're all awesome. It's just, if I had to pick.
Yeah. Because I like the OG the best, I mean, I guess technically you could say I like Halloween 2s as well, but just for like
Literally the
variety's
same
sake,
mask, yeah.
I do like Kills the best. Slightly over 2018, but 2018's is so
2018
good.
is so great.
It is.
It's so
It is.
when I first saw it in those first trailers, man, like, oh man, I was like,
Just when
finally,
he puts
my
it on
boy
that
is
first
back.
time, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
so good. So good.
Yeah. What about
So
like
kinda
Rob
similar
Zombie?
with that.
You think he did a decent interpretation? I'm kind of grateful that he went a little different with it. I'm glad he didn't go like try to copy, and he did his own thing. I'm kind of grateful
Definitely
for
not
that. I
the
don't really
bottom
love
tier
his
mask.
movies.
It's
No,
not bottom tier
no,
mask at all.
definitely
No way.
not bottom tier for
No.
me.
I think they're fine.
Yeah.
His first mask is
The
good.
second one's
I
all
do.
ripped off and shit, yeah.
I see. I hate
Yeah.
that. I don't like that.
Well, that
I
kind of
don't
just
like.
plays into the theme of the movie too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
it does.
humanizes him. I know.
Yeah, he's half his face is showing. You see the beard coming out. It's like I can't. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I want Michael's face
So,
covered.
I mean, we did a whole review episode on the OG Halloween. Where does the OG Halloween rank for you, Tyler? It's your favorite movie of all time, favorite horror movie of all time. Where does it rank?
It is my favorite movie of all time.
Me
I
too.
can
Okay.
turn it on. After this is done, I could pop it on and watch it. Like it never gets old. It never gets
Yeah.
old. I've seen it a million
You're right.
times. I went to, I think it was last year. Last year, right up, couple weeks before Halloween Ends came out. October 2022 was right 2 weeks I think before Halloween Ends came out. I went to actually go see the original in the theater. They were doing like throwback classic night at
Yeah.
one of the movie theaters, and I went there, and it was, even though I had seen the movie, God knows how many times, it was like a new experience actually seeing it on the big screen. I always wanted to do that. I still have like the movie ticket behind me
Yeah,
up on the
so
thing
awesome.
there for the original Halloween. Saw it in the theaters.
It's so funny because when we were doing our content, Anthony, in October, I pretty much watched almost every single Halloween movie in preparation for our rankings and stuff because I really wanted to give myself a
Right.
good refresher. By the end of it, I was like, all right, I need a break from this franchise, except for the original. I was like, I could still throw that movie on, and I wouldn't get tired of it. That was the only exception, and that's just a testament to how just perfect that movie is. But
A lot
no,
of them
that's
are
awesome.
so
That's
rewatchable.
awesome.
So many of the movies are so rewatchable. That's why I love this franchise.
Yeah.
Even if I
me too,
prefer
yeah.
some over others, they're all rewatchable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. What else you want to get into, Ant? You have any topics you want to discuss?
Oh, we can talk about Halloween like endlessly. It's so hard to like narrow this down.
Yeah, I'm still looking at Tyler's
What's his top
rankings.
5
They're
again?
so
What's his
unique.
top 5? I know it's Halloween 2, and then Kills. Is that his top 3?
No, he's got.
So it's my top 5.
Yeah. Give me a top 5.
It's Halloween 3, Season of the Witch at
Okay.
5. Halloween 2, 1981 at 4.
Okay.
Halloween Kills 3, Halloween 2018, and then
Okay. So
the
Halloween
original.
2018 is his favorite sequel. That's awesome.
Yes.
yes. Same with Phil.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
so
was in
they,
agreement with Phil on that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of people's favorite sequel. It's a very strong entry.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it brought
for
it
sure.
back the right way. That's why. It just
Dude.
finally brought the franchise back, like, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it.
If I can add to that, I remember when I went to see Halloween 2018 in the movie theater, my expectations were pretty much like be low because the last movies we had gotten were the Rob Zombie ones and Halloween Resurrection. So, I mean, it was basically the franchise was like in the dark ages for me at least, because those movies are no good for me. But I went in with low expectations, and then when I came out of the theater, how I felt was that is the sequel I always wanted to
Yeah.
the original. That is what I was looking for since I was a little child. They got everything right. The Mask, James Jude Courtney. I love that. I love it's 40 years later with the trauma with Laurie and the kills are good. That
Mm-hmm.
I love the
The
first. I love
soundtrack.
the
Is
soundtrack.
John
That's right.
Carpenter.
All
John Carpenter.
soundtrack unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I will add that I just actually thought of it that my top 5 is actually all the ones minus ends. Ends is at 6. It's all the ones that John Carpenter had involvement in.
Yep.
I
Halloween
noticed that
3,
too.
Halloween 2, Kills, 2018, 1978. John Carpenter had some sort of involvement, whether it was the soundtrack, the
Right.
director,
Producing. Right.
executive producer, whatever. So, but yeah, 2018 was just like it's a 9.5 for me. The
Yeah, it's
original's
awesome.
a 10 out of 10. Halloween 2018 is a 9.5. Love it.
I agree. It's a great movie. Now, since it's called Halloween Kills, do you guys have your favorite kill from Halloween Kills? No, I don't even know yours.
Really?
Let's
You
get
don't
into
know
that.
mine?
Yeah. From Halloween Kills, like, what's your favorite
Okay.
kill in that movie? I don't know it.
You don't?
No,
I feel like
don't.
I've talked about this before.
No, you haven't. No,
yeah, I mean, there's so many to choose from, but
yeah, that's why I picked that one.
yeah, I have one that I always go back to, and it's Cameron. Just for how brutal it is. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I was like, my eyes were wide. I had a smile on my face when he first begins the kill, and I say begins because it's such a long sequence, and I'm like, oh, that was a sick kill, and I'm like, wait, he's still alive. Oh my god, he's still alive. And it was pretty satisfying. I do like that. In terms of favorite like sequence, I always go back to the the firefighter scene is cool, but I always go back to the Big John Little John sequence. I think that one had the right amount of it started off kind of their characters themselves, I should say, are a bit campy, but the scene itself is
100%.
pretty intense when they split up and stuff, and Michael's in there because you see the door open, and I mean it's his house. So I like that as my favorite sequence, but my favorite kill would have to be Cameron.
Okay. All right.
There's so many to pick from that movie, and they're all perfect.
That's why I love it.
The kills are so good in that movie. Michael, and this is going to be a hot take, but I think Michael I think a lot of I'm sure we're going to get into Halloween Kills because I have a lot of stuff I have to say about that. I think that movie is the most nitpicked, maybe the most nitpicked movie in history. I don't understand what people's problem with is in that movie. You know, the stuff I've heard, dialogue. It's like, guys, it's a slasher movie. Like, go watch a lot of the '80s. It was a great homage to '80s slasher movies. Even the dialogue. Dialogue in '80s slasher movies. A lot of those movies, the dialogue's not great, and that was a big thing that people kept bringing up. Every time Halloween Kills comes up, people's dialogue's bad, dialogue's bad. It's like, dude, look at Michael Myers in this movie. This is a Michael Myers movie. It's a Michael Myers treat for people, and yet people get hung up on the evil dies tonight, the hospital. It's just like, God, dude, I can't. Like the critiquing,
Yeah.
way too much
Yeah.
critiquing with this movie. It's a slasher movie. By the numbers, enjoy the movie. Like, stop with all that.
I think, not to defend those people, because I definitely agree with you, Tyler. I mean, it's my second favorite Halloween movie. I think because it came after 2018 and it was a shift in the tone, it was such a, I think people were just expecting something different than what they got. And they were expecting, I don't know what they were expecting. I'm just thinking because it was so, like me personally, I was in the theater and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. But I guess for other people, they were put off by just how pedal to the metal it was. I don't know. I mean, maybe Ant, you could speak on that. I know Ant, you don't mind the
I don't mind Evil Dies Tonight
either.
I mean, it's said like,
but
said
you
like
still
maybe
have
like,
it lower.
No, yeah, it's maybe said like once or twice too much, but like I don't like because that's the theme of the movie. Like evil, I can get over that. I like the cheese, but it's not Halloween to me. It's not Halloween. It's Friday the 13th.
It's done.
Jason.
I think it's done purposely like that. I think it's literally like, here's an '80s slasher movie brought into 2021. I think that just flew over a lot of people's heads. It's really, I feel that it's a homage to '80s slashers.
100% is,
and
it's
brings
just not,
a little bit. It purposely does a little bit of that cheese, like as an '80s slasher movie. But it works for me. I love it. I love it. Top 3.
Well, I mean, Anthony, you you love Michael Myers, but you also love Laurie. You also love how a character-centric story, so it definitely
it's just
falls short on that, and I will agree with you, but
I care about like zero characters in that movie besides Laurie, and she's barely in it. And it's
Lonnie?
Friday the 13th, it's
Lonnie?
not Halloween. Lonnie's a dumbass.
Come on, I love Lonnie.
I like Lonnie
Allison,
way more than Tommy.
I thought Allison's ascension in that movie is the strong point in terms of characters.
But I like her because of what she was introduced. I like her and Karen because if they weren't introduced in 2018, I wouldn't have given a shit about them in Kills. Karen was better in Kills. Karen was the only one that was better in Kills than 2018. Allison had her one good sequence, but she really didn't do that much.
Yeah, and, I hear you. It's funny because I like. Sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like ready. It was almost like I was like, all right, when's Jason gonna come out and kill all these people? It was Friday the 13th. It wasn't Halloween. In my opinion, I mean, and it was fun. I have a fun time with it, but I go for Halloween for more the stalking, the suspense, and I mean, the kills were awesome. They were fun, but they were campy 80s kills, and that's not what John Carpenter ever wanted Halloween to be.
It's funny you say that because I understand tonally the movie is different in terms of the stalking, but I think it has way more stalking than 2018 does.
Really?
I don't think so. I think the one thing that 2018 was missing was that one quintessential stalking scene where he's kind of just going through the house and I don't know. I love 2018, but
he stalks in that backyard scene with the spotlight, dude. That scene is awesome. Stalking.
That's
scene.
my favorite scene in the movie.
You
love
get that
Yeah.
for stalking in Halloween 2018. You get the backyard scene, like Anthony said, but you also get that scene where Michael peeks through the window and you see the reflection of the mask. That scene is something else. And you do get another stalking scene. A lot of people forget about this. Michael stalking the podcasters at Judith's grave. he's not in costume yet. He's not in his mask and his gear yet. But he
Yeah.
actually shows up at the cemetery and he's kind of stalking them from behind that, the tree in the cemetery. I don't know.
agree.
I'm not sure.
My
I
favorite
would've-
in
I-
Kills. My favorite scene in Kill, not the favorite scene. The Cameron Kill is my favorite kill too, by the way, in Kills, because it's
Oh,
just
cool,
so
okay.
graphic and it's
What
not
was
cheap.
yours,
It's like graphic. He can
What
pick one.
in Halloween Kills?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, what do you
God,
think, Anthony? Go ahead.
But I was gonna say the Lindsay scene for me is awesome. I just wish that I wanted that to go on longer because I was like, oh, we're gonna get a stalking scene with him chasing Lindsay, and then it just kind of just cuts. But I was like, this is gonna be an epic scene, and then it just kind of stopped. So I wish that went a little bit long. If that went a little bit longer, Halloween Kills would have been like a little bit higher. Cause like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. Not Jason. We get Michael stalking again. But they kind of cut it short. I am happy, and I did like Lindsay too. I did like.
Did you like the beginning, the with the neighbors, the stalking scene? I thought that was really strong.
the neighbors?
Um,
When he ends in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked
The
it.
neighbors,
Yeah, I wouldn't call it
where he-
stalking. Yeah,
I mean, he's
like hiding out in the
shadows, I mean,
bathroom,
yeah,
fixing himself up.
Yeah, he was tending
I
to
guess
his
I wouldn't really
fingers.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't. Yeah, it's intense. It's that's a favorite of mine too.
I mean, it's
is
fun. I'll just
staging
for me,
this kill.
Kills is fun. It's just fun. It's
I
not
would-
anything more than fun for me.
But to me, I get where you're coming from, man. I totally do. It's just not what you want from the franchise. But I think they hit it so perfect because, especially with this 40 years later timeline, I mean, he's been locked in his, in the penitentiary for 40 years. He finally escapes in 2018. He's kind of led by the doctor. I'm so bad with names. What's his name? Dr.
Sartain. Dr. Sartain.
He gets trapped. He breaks free. We have the firefighter scene. Now he's on the loose for real. Like, it's the same night. It's all this pent up. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is it makes sense for the story for that movie to exist. So that's why I love it so much. It's not like they just threw this in here as like a random sequel and it's just, like a fun, Michael Myers the Ride. It fits story-wise in the trilogy. So that's why I kind of defend when you say it like that. And I just love it. It's just my favorite villain having so much fun.
I'd like to bring something up on to that note. Like how Anthony was saying, it's very Friday the 13th, and that's another critique I've seen with Halloween Kills. That they turn him into Jason and all this stuff, but I think it's important to remember the kills and most of the people that die in this movie. And Michael's not even seeking these people out. He's not walking down, killing this person. These people are coming to Michael to kill him. In a lot of these, the firefighters come to him. The truck massacre scene, they come to Michael. The mob at the end, they're trying to kill Michael. A lot of these kills, it's not like Jason kills where Michael's just like, all right, gonna take care of this person, gonna take care of this person. These people are actually attacking Michael. Lonnie, he comes to the Myers house. He gets killed. Allison and Cameron, they come to Michael. So it's not like he's seeking these people out Jason style. Michael just, in this story, his purpose was to just get to his house. He wanted to go to his house and, the window, the whole thing with the window, stare out his window. But most of the people that die in this movie are putting themselves directly into Michael's path. I don't even think Michael would kill these people if they weren't directly in his path. So I actually disagree. I actually disagree with it. The people that say that they turn him into Jason in this movie for that purpose. I think that in Halloween Kills, I think that everything that Dr. Loomis said about Michael in the original is actually validated completely in Halloween Kills. There's that scene with Brackett when Loomis and Brackett are standing outside of the Myers house. And Brackett says, do you know what Haddonfield is? Families, children, all lined up in rows up and down these streets. You're telling me they're lined up for a slaughterhouse. Halloween Kills is that slaughterhouse. So everything that Dr. Loomis said about Michael Halloween Kills is that validation from Donald Pleasance in the original. So yeah, I know it's a complete opposite take from what most people have, but I mean, I don't see the flaws in Halloween Kills that a lot of people see. It's just below 2018 for me. I
Hmm.
love it. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you guys feel about that. You know that that Doctor the quote from Doctor Loomis. I think it just Halloween Kills validates it for
I
me at
almost think
least.
2018 validates that quote more than Kills.
Yeah. It's on the same night, so yeah, it's 2018 and Kills. I would agree with that because since they both take place on the same night, because I think he already killed like 16 or 17 people just from the events of 2018. The first
Yeah.
Right.
movie
He
on
definitely,
that night.
his
So,
numbers definitely skyrocket from that
oh
first
yeah,
night in
yep,
78.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think those three movies, they take place on two nights. We got the original night, we got the second night where he breaks free with the flashback scenes. It's just such a perfect
Oh yeah, the
trilogy.
flashback
And
scenes.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, even the kill, the cop in the flashback scene, that's a cool kill. I mean, I could see people having that as their favorite kill just because it's
The
so
Well,
original
he didn't technically
vibes,
kill him.
Well,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. My honestly, when I saw the flashback scene in theaters, Halloween Kills already went like top four, top three in the franchise for me, just from that flashback scene. I
I
mean, the
couldn't
rest,
believe what I was seeing.
me
Yeah, it was
neither. I
incredible.
was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is like everything like 4, 5, 6, H2O. None of these movies could do what that just did in that flashback scene. That's
Man,
how it
it's
feels for me. It's just
you could
that
really tell how much David Gordon Green really cared about this
a lot of
franchise when
care,
he made these three movies.
a lot of
Even
care.
Ends, the reasons I don't like Ends, I can't deny that he really was a fan of Carpenter in particular and this franchise. Something that I think was lost in this new Exorcist movie, and I watched it last
Oh
night.
yeah, we didn't discuss it.
We'll have to talk about that on the podcast,
Yes.
Exorcist Believer. I feel like I don't know the backstory behind that, but I feel like maybe the studios went to him and he's like, "All right, I'll do it," as opposed
Yeah,
to
I feel
him
like that too.
going to the studios and begging for him to
You
do
can tell he had
this
like way less
franchise.
passion about The Exorcist than Halloween because that was just like a fucking. I hate that
Mhm.
term because every movie's a cash grab, but like that was a cash grab.
Yeah, and I mean it's evident when you hear Jamie Lee Curtis talk about why she returned. I mean, just getting her to return after what she went through with Resurrection was just monumental
Right.
for the franchise. So definitely grateful for him. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
Oh, there's so many movies in this franchise.
I know. I mean, there's so much we can spend another 3 hours, but did you have
I'm
anything in your
surprised.
notes, Tyler?
I'm surprised that none of you mentioned how high my Halloween 3 ranking
I
is
love that. I
compared
love
to,
that.
I
yeah,
yeah. I was
compared
gonna
to,
bring it up. Yeah. That I'm
Some
glad you
people have it
reminded
as their
me.
favorite sequel. Honestly, man, I've seen lists
I
of people
know.
that's their favorite sequel. I love that it's so unique. It's just for me, it's one of I don't go to it as much as I should, but I really love it. I love that movie.
Yeah, it fits.
It's a really solid
If I
movie.
if I want to go on like a little binge of like 80s horror,
Yeah,
Season of the Witch fits right in there. Like I'll be
100%.
watching like, Christine, Season of the Witch, The Fog, The
Oh,
Thing, like all those like 80s Halloween 3 fits perfectly in there with
Hmm.
that damn soundtrack, man.
I know it's
That
it's
Carpenter
perfect.
music.
That
God,
soundtrack is so damn good.
it is.
What's your favorite Carpenter movie besides? I'm assuming obviously Halloween's your favorite Carpenter because it's your favorite movie. But what's your second favorite Carpenter movie?
The Thing.
Okay, I had a feeling. It's
God,
like
I love
most.
that movie too.
What's yours, Nolan? A Thing too? Is that your second favorite?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I flip flop, but yeah, probably the thing. Is yours Christine, Ant?
No, it's The Fog.
The Fog? Really?
Yeah, I fucking
Okay.
love The Fog. I love The Thing too, but it's to me it's not as high as The Fog and Halloween.
Yeah.
Christine's my number 3.
I gotta watch the
I'm
Fog
a very
again.
unique with The Thing. I love The Thing, but it's not my top 2 Carpenter.
Yeah. Mine would probably be the thing, for sure.
I mean, those fucking effects in that movie are just out of this world.
But like I was gonna say, I just reiterating what I said in our last Halloween episode, to you and Phil. There really is no wrong ranking for Halloween 3.
No.
It's any ranking that I see, I'm like, okay, that's valid. If you have it last because it doesn't have Michael, I would say it's valid.
Right.
I'm a little surprised that it's in your top 5, Tyler, just because you're a big Michael guy, but you understand it on its merits, and it's just a solid movie. I really like it too. It was a treat watching it. It's been a couple years since I had watched it, so when I watched it back this October, it was a real treat, and it still holds up to this day, I think.
100%.
Yeah. When I was, younger, I was kind of in that, it doesn't have Michael in it crowd. I'm not watching this, and then later on, I gave it a shot and I'm like, wow, this is on its own. It's good 80s horror fun, good original story,
Yeah.
And like a lot of people curious to see where it would have went with that anthology
Maybe we'll find
idea.
out.
Maybe we'll find out sooner than later.
Okay.
It seems like.
Before we wrap it up, we touched on kills. I want to bring up ends because again, you're it's number 6 for you, Tyler. It's low for me at number 10, and it's a little bit higher for Anthony. He has it at number 4. So, what are your overall? I know we've talked about it before in the past, Tyler. You're kind of a love-hate. What are you? Where do you stand on Halloween Ends? We gotta get it out there.
It's mid. It's the definition of just middle of the road for me. I will say that I like 2018 and Kills more. Obviously, the first time I saw Ends, I was I would say bitterly disappointed in the walking out of the theater, which I didn't have that feeling. 2018 and Kills, I was like as happy as I could be after I saw those, and Ends I was disappointed. It seems to have just climbed a bit on subsequent watches for me. I think I've seen it like 3 or 4 times now. Blu-ray, I've got the 4K. I guess it's above others in the franchise just because James Jude Courtney is so good as Michael, and The Mask is good. It's not what I would have if I was writing it. It's not what I would have done with the story. It's totally different. Goes off into a different direction, divisive and all that. Everything we've heard a million times. But I still think it's better. The cinematography I still think is phenomenal. Carpenter's score is phenomenal. Again, I love Carpenter's score in Ends. It's different from 2018 and Kills. It has more of I feel like a sad tone to it compared to the other 2 soundtracks. I think that actually works really good in this movie. Mm-hmm. But I guess my main critique or my main issue is I wish there was some more Michael in it. I mean, even if it was another scene or 2, maybe cut some of those romance scenes out with Corey and Allison, throw in some more Michael. It sits in the middle. It sits in the middle because I just think it's a better film than a lot of the other sequels, even though it didn't really give me what I wanted with the conclusion. Yeah, that's really it, I guess, for Ends. I know you guys I'm kind of like in the middle of both of you because I know Anthony loves it. Nolan, you don't really like it. It's towards the bottom, and I kind of sit right in between both of you with it,
Yeah, I mean, and I've said this, I do think it's a well-made movie, and it is. I'm not going to say it's like, I'm not going to say it's not worse than a lot of the other sequels, but I guess the story just bothers me more, so I just can't have it higher. And it's more than that. We've talked about this. It's the execution. I don't see myself going back to it very often in the future, and that's a big criteria for me, especially for a franchise like Halloween. That's a slasher franchise. When I rank slashers, That's one of the biggest criterias for me. Can I have fun with this movie 5-10 years from now? And not just fun. Can I enjoy it? I should say, because I wouldn't call Halloween Ends a fun movie, and it doesn't have to be.
It's not.
But it's funny because I remember Phil kind of questioning me on it. Do you like the themes, and is that what's wrong with it? Like on paper, it sounds great. It really does. I don't have a problem with any of the themes. It's just the way they executed the story with Allison and with Corey, and not. And you disagree with me. You think you feel his presence throughout. I don't really get that at all, really. I
just feel the lore. I feel the lore of my. It's such a. I can't keep talking about it because I'll talk about it for an hour. But I'm just obsessed with that movie. We have talked about it too much, but we haven't even covered an episode on it. But I'm obsessed with that movie.
It's not a great. The thing is, it's not a great Michael Myers movie. But the thing is, like, the film before that gives you, like, Michael Myers overload. So...
Can have the same movie 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I
get that.
Well,
yeah, and I wasn't expecting a heavy Michael movie going in because I knew that Kills was going to be Michael's movie. And I believe, Ant, you texted me because you saw it the day before. I think you saw it opening night. I saw it opening
Kills?
weekend. And I'm talking about Ends now. You texted me with Ends, and you said, "Don't expect. Just go into it knowing it's not Michael." Oh wait, we saw it together.
Did we see it together?
I think you saw it before me. I think you saw it the day before me, right?
No, I think we saw it at the same time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Someone.
No, I saw
me.
Kills before you, and I was like,
okay.
It's a fucking campy slasher. Like, it's for. I pretty much said it's Friday the 13th. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I guess we did see it together. You're right.
And I walked out, and I was like, had the best smile. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
yeah.
I was high the first time on it.
I mean,
so it's not even about that. It wasn't Michael centric. I just wish that they handled Michael, the scenes that he was in, a little bit better. I mean, the sewer scene is just pretty bad, and even the ending I didn't really love the face off.
Really?
You're a Laurie guy, Ant, so it was.
I just
very
thought it was so realistic
for
for like them two. Like, that was the most realistic fight like I had seen between them two.
Seeing Michael getting crushed in a trash compactor, I could have gone my whole life without seeing that image.
Yeah, but that ended it.
Like,
it's called Halloween Ends.
Really?
I mean, anyone who didn't think that Laurie,
it's
like,
evil.
the whole progression of that story was Laurie was going to have her end date. Like, if anyone didn't know that that's where they were going with this, Jamie Lee Curtis was not going to come back to get killed again. I mean, people who didn't know that from the start are in line.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But just some of the visuals, it's like we didn't even see that.
I loved
it.
Going into Halloween Ends, I thought there might be a possible. I thought, like, maybe both of them would die. Laurie and Michael go out together. I didn't think it was
never going to be
Michael.
just her, though. It was never going to be just her.
No, it was never going to be just her. I expected Michael to go in Ends, but I thought maybe Laurie will sacrifice herself at the end, or something like that. And on the first watch in the theater, it kind of just felt like they kind of just tossed Michael in the trash, kind of with Ends, because he's not, when he's in the movie, he's weak. This is like first watch stuff. He's weak, and then like the end, he gets killed, he gets bled out, he gets thrown into the car crusher, and I'm like, man, they just really it's not a good movie for Michael. He had a rough movie, and then to actually see someone else in his mask and going around killing people, I'm like, dude, this movie's breaking some rules right now.
So you were more offended by Corey doing it than Sartain? Because I didn't know.
Well, yeah, because Corey actually goes on a full killing spree with the jumpsuit on and the mask. That's one thing about 2018 that a lot of people complained about that I didn't mind. I
didn't mind it either.
I like the Sartain twist.
Me too.
I like it. It's the guy.
There's only one Loomis. There's only one Loomis, and I was like, they're gonna make him a copycat Loomis. I'm happy they did that.
I'm glad they didn't do that too. And it gives you an idea of potentially how Michael escaped, even though I like it leaves it vague. Doesn't tell you that Sartain let him out. It's left up to the imagination. I feel like that's almost like a Carpenter type thing.
Right.
Let's let the audience imagine how he got out. Did Sartain cut him loose? Did Michael, break out somehow without Sartain's help? But, you go either way. Seems like Sartain let him out, but it doesn't explain it too much.
Yeah. I just love that Ends is really about the concept of evil and not just Michael. I feel like that's very Carpenter-esque, and a lot of the monologues from the original coincide with what Ends is trying to do. And I mean, I love Corey. I love what the story with Corey too. So, and I love the face-off. The fight, I felt emotional like their face-off, Laurie and Michael, to me. And it made sense where Michael was in the beginning of Ends because of he did. I mean, I know he took everyone down at the end of Kills, but he also got like destroyed a bit at the
That's
end of
true.
Kills.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
That's,
no, I agree with you with the themes like the evil and stuff. I'm not a fan of Corey. I do think he was kind of just shoehorned into the movie in order to explain
really?
those themes. I don't think he was naturally put in. I think maybe seeing him throughout the trilogy more, even as like a side character, would have been better. I know there was a theory one of you told me about having Cameron in Ends and him being
God.
kind of the Corey character. They could have maybe worked that a little bit better and have that be an angle. I just wasn't a fan of Corey. I just think he was pretty weak character in general, and he's the main character. Him and Laurie are the main characters in the movie, and so when I don't like one of the main characters that much, it's hard for me to really get around on it.
yeah, Nolan, I know you mentioned in your rankings uh, with Phil and Anthony, you mentioned how I felt. I felt like 78, 2018, and Kills is kind of like the trilogy, and then Ends is like the epilogue, like something,
Yeah.
the afterwards, like the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at it like that, it's not as I mean, I liked it more on subsequent watches, but it's definitely not as good as 2018 and Kills for me. But I do
I
agree
think
with.
we could all agree that that it's kind of like an epilogue. Even Ant, I think you can agree it's kind
Oh,
of
I
has
think.
those
Well,
vibes.
it's 4 years later. It's 4 years later
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
events of 18 and Kills.
Yeah,
I like.
was just,
I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that
Mhm.
description of it.
It is
Yeah.
I think it
a,
almost benefits it. Yeah.
and I agree that the end. I think that the fight at the end is actually the most realistic fight. You're
Yeah.
not going to have two people going and battling for 10 minutes and beating each other like that. I mean, they're going to the death,
Right.
so that's how a fight would, if that happened in
Right.
real life, that's how it would be.
Right. 100%.
I just don't like how easily it went down. I mean, I
Yeah,
understand
you
he's
know,
beaten up, but
he
the
got some
entire
shots in though
movie,
on her. Like he got
Yeah,
some
he
shots
does,
in, like, really
but
bad shot. Yeah.
I would have liked
I
another
still
30.
think I still like the dynamic of having your villain be like more powerful than your final girl and having
But he
the final
was
girl.
in the beginning. She just had to be smart.
I wanted more. I just wanted more. And
I would have
just
liked another
feel
minute.
like- yeah.
Not
I mean,
much
I always
more,
want
just
more.
another minute.
Yeah,
I always
want
go
more,
back
obviously,
to
but-
H2O's. I talked about this H2O's chase scene and sequence. That's my favorite in the franchise in terms of
Same
besides
here.
the original. I'm talking.
It's just a different
So-
vibe. Like N just has such a different vibe than H2O. It's like so cathartic and like so like emotional. It's not like the pump your fist kind of fight, It's like holy shit. It's just such a different vibe. That's why I appreciate it.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just not my Michael. It's just
Oh,
not what
really?
I want to remember. Like my last scene with Michael.
Yeah, it's rough for a Michael
but
fan.
I just
For
love
Lori-
that it
for
had the
Lori
balls.
fans, it's
Finally,
fine.
a Halloween movie had the balls to just fucking end it for now. Even if he's gonna come back in 5 years, it's like it's done. It's done for now. Like just leave it.
You do have to give
And I
it
really hope they
credit for
take a
doing
break.
that.
Yeah, I hope they take a break. Like, let us be starving for Michael again. Wait till the 50th
Mm-hmm.
anniversary. I don't want a movie until the 50th anniversary. I want to be like starving for him again. I don't want it to be like a random movie next year or
Yeah.
something.
So just to wrap up this episode real quick, Tyler, what are your overall thoughts on like where do you want to see this franchise go? I know there was a bidding war for the rights.
God.
They're gonna do possibly a TV show or something. The TV rights were bid on. Where do you want to see the franchise go in the future? What would be your kind of idealistic way?
So the problem is like you guys, I think Anthony said this. Michael's supposed to be like we want to see him on the big screen, right? Like in a
100%.
movie. Where the hell do you go from here? I mean, they've done a remake with Rob Zombie. They've done a 40-year reboot timeline. I just don't know where you go with a movie, and you know, I think a TV show would be cool, but I don't know if you fit Michael in some type of anthology TV show, different like stories maybe with Michael in them, like in some sort of show. That might be cool. Some type of anthology series where Michael's kind of like the glue that holds the episodes together, maybe. Because I don't know what, like movie wise, I don't know what. Like I want to see him in another movie, obviously, at some point.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know what story there is left to tell. Do you
Yeah.
just completely eliminate the Laurie Strode story and do
Yeah, no, I don't.
fresh?
No more Laurie Strode.
Yeah, you
because
have to
can't do
you have to
anymore.
eliminate Laurie Strode
Yeah.
at this point because there's really nothing
Yeah.
else to do.
Just-
I really wish that Rob Zombie didn't do. I don't think he was the right guy to do a Halloween remake. I would have liked to see a remake done maybe later on, maybe in the period that we're in now, with the cinematography and maybe a different direction. I think a Halloween remake would have been better done now by somebody else, but
Okay.
you can't really do that now. I mean, that's it's already been
I do
done,
agree.
right?
I do agree. You
I
can't
would like
just,
to see David
you
Gordon
can't-
Green do a Halloween remake, but that's just me. I mean, whatever. Like like with those flashback scenes from Kills, something in that vein
Like
with a remake. But
I don't want another remake of the
neither
original.
do I.
I
Neither
think
do
we
I.
should leave it alone. I think a reboot with new characters is more fitting in a new universe.
Probably.
And I do agree with you. I don't think you just throw a movie out there. I think it's too jarring. I do like the idea of a TV show. I don't want Michael in the TV show, but if
Okay.
you could somehow build it and build the show towards a Michael movie, have him maybe in the background, not really in the background, you know what I'm saying? Like create stories through your show and then bring maybe some of those characters to the big screen and then have Michael appear on the big screen finally. I think that would maybe be a better transition as opposed to just making another Michael movie and it's like, oh wait, here's a new timeline, no more Laurie. I don't know. It's going to be interesting how they approach this. I
It's
definitely
hard
don't think they're going to go
come up with
full on
something.
anthology with completely new universes because then what's the point of buying the rights to Halloween if you're not going to have any tie-ins to even Season of the Witch or anything? So I think at the very least it'll be an anthology that is in the Season of the Witch universe. I think that's probably the more likely scenario for a show.
So interesting to me because this is my second favorite franchise, and I'm almost like I'm content. I'm like, it can be done for now. I have everything I need, like every different direction we went already. But obviously, it's coming back. I almost think they should just leave the first movie canon. Maybe leave the first three canon, and then just I don't know. I want Season of the Witch anthology for now, and then maybe it takes place to like in the show like in 1978 this Michael Myers did this and the evil escaped. Just keep that lore there. And then maybe at the end of a couple seasons of that, we see that at the end Michael's back, and then that leads into a movie. So everything's kind of in the same universe. But I don't know. I just I really don't want Michael like on the small screen. I just think it's disrespectful. But I will have Season of the Witch series all day, every day. I really want that. Yeah.
Would you be on board for any sort of like Jamie Lloyd reboot or anything?
No, you know what? It's
Bring
just
her
too
back?
messy. It's too messy.
No.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It's too messy. It's too convoluted.
Guys,
Danielle
like,
Harris was able to play two characters in the franchise. She got her due. I know she's bitching about it, but and she's the only actress who got to play two different characters in this franchise. I mean, she got her due. She's fine.
The timelines, trying to explain the
Yeah, it's too
timelines
much.
to people that don't watch Halloween is
Right.
like, I mean,
It's a
dude,
mess.
I still go on YouTube. I don't know if you guys get a laugh out of this, but I'll go on like YouTube and I'll be like under a Halloween 2018 video, and there will be like people in the comments, "What happened to Laurie's son from Halloween H2O?" And I'm just like,
it's too messy for the
It's like,
general
guys,
public. It's a mess, dude.
it's like
a
we're
mess.
six, we're 5-6 years removed. It's like they retconned it. Like, come on.
I don't want Laurie again either because they did everything they could with Laurie and no one can do it like Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't even want a Loomis again because it's just Donald Pleasance. I think they need to move away from those characters and just do something different with just Michael because you
I
can't.
agree.
But you do
do it
want
as
it
good as
in
that,
the
yeah.
same universe as the original Ant, like far removed, but in the same universe. See, to
I
me,
really don't want a remake though. I don't want a remake though either.
Yeah.
Maybe he
'Cause
just
to
escaped
me-
at the end of 78 and then that's it for those characters and he comes. But you know what I mean? I don't want another.
Oh, I see
don't
what you're
know.
saying.
Yeah, like and that's
I
it
don't
with those
want
characters.
this. I don't want this in the same universe as like Halloween Ends, because that means
No,
that
no,
Michael
no, no.
Myers is now
Dude,
a
that
different
ended.
person.
No, yeah,
And
dude,
I don't want
that
a
ended.
copycat killer, you
No,
know?
no.
Okay.
I was just thinking
Okay.
maybe leave 78. You know, I just said the first three because that's when Season of the Witch came out. But even if you just leave 78 canon again, and he just escaped, and that's the last that Loomis and Laurie, dealt with him, then he goes somewhere else. You know what I mean? I just don't need.
Yeah.
I don't need any more. I don't want anything after Ends. No, I thought Ends to me was the perfect ending. Don't follow that movie.
Yeah, no, don't
It's
do
literally
anything
called
after
Halloween.
that.
It's called Halloween Ends. I don't want a
Well,
Jamie
we
Lloyd
can pull an
continuation.
H2O. That wasn't really Michael.
God.
No. That would be a disgrace.
He's-
That would ruin the movie. No more Jamie Lloyd. I mean, unfortunately, she died in 6. I know, but it's just too messy. The general public will not be able to. It'll do
Yeah.
poor. You can't.
They
keep
can't
doing
follow. They can't follow.
This. It worked because they got. I mean, it really worked because Jamie Lee Curtis is Jamie Lee Curtis. She's an A-list celebrity. They brought her back. That they were able to get away with it. You can't do that with Danielle Harris. I'm sorry, she's not Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mhm.
It's too much. It's too messy. The franchise is already so messy, which I love it for it, but you can't keep doing it. You're going to lose people, and it's going to bomb one of these days.
Yeah.
If you keep doing it. But I'm excited
we'll
to see
see.
what happens, I guess. But I do want to break. I think we had 3 movies in a short time, 4-year time span. I think we're good for a little bit. Let everyone come around to this trilogy and, appreciate Kills and Ends more down the line, and then we'll.
Yeah, I think the whole trilogy will be appreciated more
Yeah.
as time goes on. The trilogy, especially Kills and Ends, because you have some
me too.
people that hate
2018
ends. Some
is like
people,
beloved, yeah.
yeah, people that's 2018. Most people agree is pretty damn good.
Right.
It's Kills and Ends. Everyone's like flip flopping.
Divisive. It's very divisive,
Right.
yeah.
But I'll want to make a closing point because I had, Kills 2018 Ends. They're up on the top, and I said I like the
Right.
Blumhouse timeline the most. I think a big part of that too is that I feel like that the Blumhouse trilogy does a really good job keeping continuity with the original film. Michael's got the hole in the mask from when Laurie, stabbed him
Right.
with the knitting needle in 78. He's got the dead eye from when Laurie poked him with the hanger in the eye.
Right.
His eye's all messed up. They just lots
put
of
care
attention
into
to
it,
detail, lots of love put into it. Whereas, on other Halloweens, H2O, how are his eyes not shot out?
Right.
If that's in continuity, why does he have no burns on him?
Right.
Some things with the other
It's
movies,
so
they
funny
just
how
no
they didn't
continuity.
care about any of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's you don't care about that. That type of stuff drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, he was burnt to a crisp.
It
Why doesn't he have a
depends.
burn mark on him?
I get
But-
over it for H2O just because it's such a strong Laurie movie, and I love it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But no, I agree. The Blumhouse trilogy, they put a lot of, and shout out to Christopher Nelson. He did the,
Oh,
the
amazing.
makeup and the set design. He's the person who brought that flashback to life for real.
You're right.
Gave it Gordon Green, but they put a lot of care into what had the injuries that Michael had and all that. And even Laurie, he got her scar again. I get that H2O, but it's all there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I know people shouldn't. There's a lot to appreciate about this new trilogy, which I think that's why it needs some breathing room. Let people
It
come
does.
around and then bring it back. Bring it back for 50 years.
for sure.
It's pretty close. 50 years is not that far away. It's going to be 24 more years. It's going to be 2024.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, 4 more years. Yeah. Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks, Tyler, so much for joining us. I thought that was a really fun discussion. Thanks, everyone, for sticking around for this bonus Halloween franchise content. I know you all can't get enough of Halloween, and same with us, so I'm sure we'll be covering
do
the
more.
sequels in
We'll
the
do
future. Yeah, maybe we'll have Tyler on again,
For sure.
covering a review of the sequel. But for now, that's it. We'll see you guys next time. This is the Never Split Up podcast. Please follow us on social media at neversplituppod, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.